And I'm going to send you guys the link in here. Let's go here. Let's go to Twitter and then tweet that out. And then if I go to my Twitter, you guys can see how messy my office is. That'd be great. All right, so I'm live there, and you guys should see a link to the live YouTube on my feed here. I'm looking for the link so I can add it. My profile, and there it is. And let's share that to the top. Okay, so that's shared at the top. You guys can join that if you want. And I am going to now pull in my other screen. And there should be a little share button over here, right? End stream, top chat. Picture in picture. All right, this picture. Oh my goodness. You guys are the best. Just bearing with me here. You guys are probably jumping on my live stream right now. And I'm like, what am I doing? There's like one person watching. They're like, Jimmy, you're crazy. Well, if you know me, I am a little bit crazy. I almost want to turn my camera around to just show my screen. That'd be so crazy. Can I just change this camera to something else? Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, if you're watching my live stream, I'm going to do this. And you should be able to see my screen. Yeah. So when I installed this on my system, this is the interface that you see. And so you can type in a prompt here, and then you can choose how many samples, meaning how many iterations that you want to go through, and then how many you want to create. And then this right here is the crazy computer scale. So it goes from 0 all the way to 30. So if you have it set like right in the middle, then it'll take your words and it'll use it kind of halfway and it'll figure it out itself. And then if you do it all the way to 30, it'll take every single word that you use here and it will manifest it. So I'm going to send you some links here. This is a prompt maker. And then these are some examples of some of the prompts that you can make. So if I were to take this prompt right here, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it into the one that generates on my computer. So you can see that there's different descriptive words in here. And I can hit generate, and it will start to generate imagery based on the keywords. So let's see what we had. We had banana. We had beautiful banana. We had coconut. We had apple. And then what it did was through the combination of apples and coconuts and bananas, it created these crazy manifestations through using artificial intelligence. So that's like one simple example. You can see in some of these examples, they can get pretty complex. So this example here is using a video output, which it uses a variety of different keyframes, and it'll generate a transition between different keywords. So if we look at the prompt again, from 0 to 50 keyframes is doing an apple, and then from 50 to 100, it's transitioning to a banana, and then from 100 to 150, it's doing a coconut, and then I don't know what a durian is, but you can see there's the apple, and then when it gets to that next transition, it's going to transition into that banana, and then it'll transition into the coconut, and then the durian. So really cool way to generate not only artwork, but in the crypto sphere, really cool ways to animate new ideas for NFTs. Because all of these can be exported and minted in the variation that you can do on your computer, you can actually set a batch, and you can batch up to 16 different variations, and then those variations can be then exported as PNG files or whatever you want. It can be transitioned into videos. What I like to do is I like to batch a few together to make a collection. And I can kind of jump in here for a second and show you some of the ones that I have done. So this one is pretty cool. This is a collection of music boxes that I've made. And I mean, I wish I could show you like screen share, but this is pretty good for right now until I set this up. But I mean, these music boxes have been generated with my different script words. Like this is a medieval type of box that's generated. And I would love to see some of these things 3D printed. I mean, they're really amazing how, computer generated and stuff. See another one that I've done. Oh, no, not that one. Let's see. The drafts. The drafts are pretty cool. So let me see here. I can't see my screen. Okay, now I can see it. There we go. So some crazy looking giraffes. I think I did a giraffe in the desert with palm trees. And my idea is eventually, I think I'm going to build a collection called the zoo, or called the artificial zoo. And I'm going to pick, different animals and generate, one of these. What's great is like when you do a batch, you can pick the one that most relates to your style. I love black and white, but I think I'm going to, do an entire collection for the zoo. This is fish. And let's see, move this over here. So this is like a generation of fish, like really kind of alien looking fish. I mean, some of this stuff is so cool. Look at that one. That one didn't even have a face. That's like, I don't know. The day the ocean stood still kind of stuff right there. Oh, look at this guy. He's like screaming. He's like Casper the Friendly Fish Ghost or something. But yeah, that is just a little kind of taste as to, what you can do with artificial intelligence and, prompts. I know there's a few of you that are just listening, and I appreciate that. I would love to, send you guys links that you guys can download this on your computer and try it yourself. But I'm definitely going to send you to replicate.com. Replicate.com is where you can connect your GitHub account, and it gives you access to all of the different software applications to create your own images, either your own images, either your own videos. So let me do that real quick. Let me send this tweet out. So you gotta check out Replicate. It is amazing for AI art generation. So you guys, so I tweeted that out, and I will share that on the top here. As soon as I go back to here and go to profile. It's weird. It just doesn't. It's not there yet. But you can see it in my. That's right. Go back here. So I know I've been talking for like 15 minutes. Sorry, I'm really new to this because I don't really talk. I'm more of a typer chatter than a Twitter space chatter. Does anyone want to raise their hand and ask a question, or is there something that you'd like to do but you're not sure if you can do it? And I might have an answer for you where you can get it done. You guys have any questions about costs, or the resolutions, or can I convert this into a movie, or any of that kind of stuff? If so, raise your hand. I'd be more than happy to talk more about it. I think the reason why I wanted to kind of have this quick Twitter space was the NFT market today is kind of, not trendy, and is kind of lagging in some areas. And I just see this as a new way to kind of stimulate interest in NFTs, because you are taking literally your words, your poetry, and you're entering it into a mechanism that will almost turn your dreams into reality. I mean, if you think of it that way. So basically, whatever your imagination comes up with, you can type in a prompt and it will generate an image. All right, I think Gadget. Hey, how are you? Thanks for jumping up.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. Um, as usual, there's just a few hiccups trying to get this the live stream, but I did my best to kind of pivot on that. So, did you have any questions on this, or have you used this before?
I haven't. I've seen lots of people use it. I was watching the live stream, but I had to disconnect from the Twitter feed because they were like clashing. It was like one was delayed, and yeah. So yeah, I've now come back onto Twitter as such on the space. But yeah, it opens up like to the point where is that better than actual artwork where you just put in a couple of give it a couple of ideas and then this AI generates all this different kind of art? Would that kind of replace people as in like artists? And how can you, is there any way of telling if it was AI or if it was hand drawn, or is there any going to copyright things on those sort of stuff? Is it something that you can, could you put in Coca-Cola?
You can. Okay, so that's a really great question. So this is so new that it's almost like when the internet first started and there was no safeguards to anything, right? So if you knew where to look, so the public-facing version of Replicate, which I posted, uses Stable Diffusion, which is a software that was based on DALL-E 2. So DALL-E 2 was like the commercial, the highest level of software that could be used, and then it was sort of dumbed down, sort of, into that Replicate. But what you're going to find is more and more of these companies are popping up using the open source software to then add a monetized version to make this artwork, right? And that copyright issue, that copyright worry, has been very apparent because over in Europe, someone had used this software to take a famous artwork and expand upon it using artificial intelligence, in which won a very accredited art contest for painting. So in that regard, it was very, very difficult for the judges to differentiate between someone's actual artwork and AI, right? So if you dug into the code, there are ways that they have sort of watermarks that show that this image was generated using this tool, right? That's if you use the platforms that exist that have been popping up, one of which is, many different iterations of Stable Diffusion. But that being said, you can download all of the Python code. And if you know Python, you can install it and modify it in such a way that you can disassemble and disable some of those safeguards so that it would make it more difficult to distinguish your work from a work that's generated by a computer. Now, I've been working with this for maybe about 2 weeks, and what I found is there are certain distinguishable attributes to AI generated art that make it apparent that it is that. When you see a disfigured face, or you see certain ways that two objects have been connected, it's almost like you're on an acid trip based on how it comes out. But that being said, those aspects happen when you give the computer a lot of leeway as to how to generate a prompt. So again, I was saying before that if you install the program, you have all the controls. So now you are behind what algorithm is used to make the image, how much of the image do you want to take literally based on the prompt, and how much of the image do you want the computer to manifest in its own kind of creative way. There are different sampling steps. So you can sample it like 50 times, or you can sample it 100 times. And what that means is like it'll build upon each step. So if you want a very simple result, you can go from like 1 to 10. If you want something that's very, very intricate, you could do sampling of 100 steps. And then of those 100 steps, there are like 8 different algorithms that will then go out and assemble these prompts in such a way. And then on top of that, there is the CFG scale, which is how the computer, how the guidance of how much computer is doing it and how literal it's taking it. So that was a very long-winded way of explaining it to you, but I don't think this is going to replace artists. But what it will do is it'll allow artists to use the style of some of the greatest artists in history and apply it to their own work. So you could be a photographer and you could photograph, let's just say, hot air balloons or maybe sailboats on the ocean, and then you could add that image to this program and say, I would love to see 6 iterations of my photograph in the style of Pablo Picasso, or George O'Keeffe, or Alfred Stieglitz, any of these people. And then the computer will go out and grab all the styles of those artists and apply it to your image. So, I mean, and then on top of all of that, if you guys know Minecraft and you know what a seed is, you can put in a generated seed, and then have that as your style, or you can have every single iteration that's created as a separate seed that goes into infinity. So in other words, it would be literally impossible for someone to generate exactly the same artwork, even using the same prompt, unless they're using exactly the same seed. So it's quite versatile. Thank you for that question. That was awesome. Like I said, I was trying to set up a YouTube live stream, and I don't even know if that's still going. Probably is. Let me close this off here.